Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League. This is the Equal Performance tier and we're here for round number 4 at the Canadian Grand Prix. See, 3 rounds already gone in this Equal Performance Championship, for which we'll get to the standings for in due course. My name is JPH and I'll be taking you through all the action tonight on this Canadian Grand Prix. 35 laps of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve to come. But first we'll have the 18-minute qualifying session as per the standard weekend in IRL. But a little bit about the circuit. The circuit Gilles Villeneuve, originally called a different name. It was originally called the Ile Notre Dame circuit. As it's built on the island of Notre Dame, it was then changed in 1982 to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve after the death of Gilles Villeneuve in that year. He was also the first person to win at this circuit back in, I think, 1950. He won... when he was born. He won the first Canadian Grand Prix in 1978, driving for the Scuderia Ferrari. And obviously, when he died, they honoured his memory by renaming the circuit after himself. The current layout of the circuit has 14 corners. It is 4.361 kilometres long, or 2.7 miles. It's hosted not just Formula 1, but it's also hosted things like Champ Car, NASCAR, and also World Sports Car. So a very big sort of history steeped here in Canada. As I can see cars already going on their way out. We've got 17 drivers in tonight. We have the Mercedes drivers of Nitro Gash and Ginger Tiger. Mikey is in the McLaren with Clips in the Haas. Kent is in the Red Bull with Massive Marshall in the sister team of RB. Maris in the Haas. Typhoon in the Aston Martin. Stephen is in the Kick Sauber with the Cats in the Alpine. Jack in the McLaren. We'll come back to Jack very shortly. Giovi is in the Ferrari with Sir Spud in the sister Sauber. The Leg is in the Alpine. Krikzik in Ferrari. Keza in Red Bull. And Gattuso runs in the Aston Martin, as FRLO Stephen has already picked up a 5-place grid penalty for a severe collision. Not really what they will be looking for. I'm just going to see if I can get the... Maybe that sounds a little bit better. So, let's have a look with a lap with someone. And actually, let's get the... this Joey coming into the pits. There's Keza. Keza just warming up his tyres. So we'll quickly just that. We'll get the right setting for this soon, hopefully. So Keza on the start of a flying lap. So through turn number 1 and turn 2 into the Virage Senna for the second corner, over the hill and into the first of the chicanes, into 3, 4, guide it through the first part, open up the second part. 5 is just this really flat right-hander. 6 and 7, the infamous turn where Jenson Button in 2011 passed Sebastian Vettel for the race win after making 6 pit stops in that day. First DRS zone of the lap comes into effect as we head down towards the 8-9 chicane. Very awkward. You want to attack the curb, but you can't be too aggressive with it. You will force the car wide through 9. Down towards 10 is Lepingle, the hairpin. Down to second. Try and square it up to get the power on as you head through, flat through 11. DRS coming up, there it goes open. Flat through 12. And towards the final of 13 and 14, where the Wall of Champions is located. Yeah, that's an invalidation from Keza. And that is going to be a talking point of the night, is track limit. It is one of the worst tracks for dishing out these track limit penalties. As, an RB in the background has just spun. I think that might be a massive marshal. He's the only one around. So after completing a lap, he spins the car. Kent currently on provisional pole position of 1 minute 10.4. Good evening to Spud and Mikey. Dry qualifying and dry race, according to our weatherman, our weather Spud there. Kent just going through there. We've got Jack, TM53 slots, and I'm going to focus on Jack a little bit. Partly because our driver standings, he is our championship leader coming into round 4 here at Canada. 36 points to his name. He has a victory, but he's only got 2 points over Kent, who's currently on pole position in the Red Bull. Sam Flan, who's not here tonight, is on 32. Flaherty in the other Williams is on 31. Typhoon is on 30, Crixix 29, Nitrogash 18, Ginger Tiger 16, Sir Spud on 15, with O'Steven rounding at the top 10 on 12 points. In the constructors, Williams do lead the way, but they're going to have their... Giovi has retired. You're going to run on board with Jack, because that's coming up towards the first of the chicanes, 3 and 4, and he's just lost the back end, and he's floating in mid-air. Is Giovi. That's one hell of an impact he's managed to have there. He's pretty just lost it through turn 3, and it's just gone sideways into the wall sideways and floating in the barrier by the looks of it. Mikey is on a lap at the moment, only on medium ERS though. So this will be a bit of a banker run, this, for Mikey, try and get a time on the board. But as I say, constructors, Williams do lead the way on 63 points. McLaren are second on 38. They are actually tied with Aston Martin, but obviously McLaren have a win over Aston Martin, so they take the place so far. Red Bull is on 34. Mercedes also on 34. Ferrari have 33. Sauber 27. Alpine on 12. Haas 9. And Racing Bulls on nothing right now. Mikey did actually invalidate that lap through the final chicane at by the Wall of Champions. Just a little bit too much for the left-hand curve. As Gattuso now puts it on pole position of 1 minute 10.3. So times are starting to tumble, but the key element here is at the bottom. I should say the bottom 7 is actually more like the bottom 6 now, because of Giovi's retirement. They have not yet set a time, and time is dwindling at the moment, as O'Steven coming into the final chicane up to the line. He keeps it right. I'm not quite surprised. I'd probably like to see him there, but 9th place overall for now for O'Steven, a 1:11.3, just under a second slower than the pole sitter at the moment. Keza and Jack both have invalidated lap times, so Spud is on the move. There is Ginger Tiger, just looking down the list to see Mikey obviously invalidated. The leg has just started the lap. Gattuso on an in lap. So I think it could well be Spud is the next man across the line. He is on a lap at the moment. The final corner for Spud. Not quite as straight a line out of the chicane as he'd probably like to, but he keeps it over to the right hand side. Does go quicker, up to 6th place for the Kick Sauber car. Ginger Tiger, he's next across the line, puts it on pole position on 1 minute 10.1. Fantastic stuff. We've got a Ferrari of Crixix coming around to start a lap. The leg, he's still on a flyer, still got a valid lap for now. Through the final chicane, past the Wall of Champions. What can he do? He puts himself 7th in the Alpine, a 1:10.9. Who else have we got potentially on flying laps? Kent coming up to the line for his latest attempt. We've also got Mikey behind him. Kent across the line at 110.1. What can Mikey do behind? I think he invalidated. Either that or he's just no, he's just starting a lap. Is Mikey there, I think. Interesting, he's only on medium ERS for now. Can get rid of that. Let's have a look at the tyres at the moment. Everyone pretty much on the soft compound as expected. No real surprise on that one. A bit of a lock up there from the Haas of Clips Kiri. But we are looking at Maris at the moment. Currently 15th, no time set. Into the final chicane for the Haas driver of Maris. Yeah, a lot of drivers opting not to stay right as they approach the line. 111.1 puts himself in 12th. Now, there's certainly drivers here which you'd expect improvement from. Keza and Jack being sort of the two standout candidates there. Typhoon has got himself into 6th, so a little recap then. Krixik has taken pole position with a 109.6 for now. That's a very, very quick time that from Krixik. About 5/10 to the good. So whether you're thinking he has to go again, I don't know yet. Ginger Tiger 2nd, Kent 3rd, Gattuso 4th with Clips Kiri rounding up the top 5 at the moment. But it's close between 2nd to 4th, and then 5th downwards is very, very close. Mikey Hassan now set time of a 1:13.2. I can only imagine that maybe he's going again. Maybe 6/10 down on this lap. Oh, he looks like he got all of that wrong into the hairpin. So that's the final chicane, and Mikey does come into the pit, so is he going to have to throw another set of boots on the car, because a 1:13.2 is nowhere near where he would have wanted to be. Gattuso puts it at 109.530, so Krixik will have to go again. So Gattuso and Krixik showing the field what they're capable of. Nitrogash puts it into 5th. There's Stephen on a current lap at the moment. Got a Typhoon in the Aston Martin with the next person to set a competitive lap time. So that, but he's harvesting energy, which means he's not on a fast lap. We all know that the Hasses are not on fast lap right now. So that Maris? Maris is on a lap by the looks of things, so yeah, burning energy down through 12 up towards 13 and 14. Not sure, we're looking to improve on his 12th place position right now. Flick it right, flick it left. Again, he brings it over to the left. He's better off keeping it right, shorter distance to the line. Puts himself in 8th though. So Stephen goes into 7th with a 110.4. So is Stephen in the mix of the midfield. Jack about to start an out lap. Start a flying lap. Nitrogash into the pits. He comes. Ginger Tiger. He's got DRS open. Burning energy. So we are on a flying lap here with Ginger Tiger. Again, through the final chicane. And yep, one of the few drivers we see keeping it to the right hand side. A 109.8, 3rd place for now. Things can very much change. I think the leg has just gone on to that maybe? He's done a 110.9 so far, he's 10th. It's the cat coming through and it invalidates the lap. Who else we got? We've got Keza, he's on an out lap at the moment. Clips Kiri has invalidated O'Steven. Won't be on a flyer, he's just finished one. Kent on an outlap. So I think it's a case of Jack is the next person to have a go at this flying lap. 4 minutes 30 to go here at Canada, and Jack flies into the pits. Interesting, so obviously that lap not what he was looking for. And into the pits he comes. Ginger Tiger probably going to be coming into the pits, yes he is. The leg, however, he does continue through to finish this current attempt. And 9th place for the leg, a 110.6. Good evening, Lee. How are we? I did think I was gonna say, and I was gonna ask you, but then I thought probably not a good idea for you to be commentating and coughing. Not the ideal combination, shall we say? Spud just starting a lap. We've got Keza, who's half a second up at the moment, puts himself on a 10.4 for now. Crosses the line, a 10.3 is the time, and 7th place for the Red Bull driver. We have Mikey on a lap. The question is, he is apparently 0.1 of a second down. Not really sure what's going on here with Mikey. He's normally quite quick around Canada. It's normally a strong place for him. Not looking so good at the moment. Massive Marshall coming up to the start line to start his latest lap, as is Kent, who puts in a fabulous 1 minute 22.6. Absolute barnstormer of a time from Kent on that attempt. Who we got on laps? Spud is on an invalidation. I think we're now basically waiting for these final runs to go. Spud into the pit, so that's more than likely the end of his qualifying by the time the team get that car back into the garage. He could actually delay his teammate, Ovo Steven here, who will probably want to be going for a final run. It's not a big outlap here, but it's you know, you still don't want to be playing too risky with the time. Kent and Massive Marshall, Kent overtaking the sister team. He rocks up to the line. 3rd place for Kent, a 109.7. Massive Marshall still down in 14th. He's going to have one more attempt here if he's got enough fuel. Gattuso. He'll be starting. Let's go. Let's have a look at Jack, because Jack, this is do or die really for Jack. He's going to have potentially 2 attempts at this if he thinks he can carry on. Although you have to think, if he's going to have another run, he's going to have to back off early to get that ERS rejuvenated. 5/10 to the good on his personal best. So we head through into the final sector of this lap. So he messed the lap up, and that's why he's gone into the pits. Up to the final chicane for Jack. This has to be a big improvement. Oh, and the car didn't want to turn into the wall of champions. A 110.6 puts him into 11th, and this is a big shock for Jack, because he's going to be starting from outside the top 10. He's going to have a lot of work to do. Is the McLaren driver. He's got Mikey behind. Now, the best thing these two can do here is see if they can start getting a bit of a slipstream going, especially up that back straight. Help Mikey off of that penultimate row, as Massive Marshall has retired in the pit lane. That is not on circuit. We don't have to worry about it. Who have we got coming through at the moment? We've got Typhoon, along with a Haas of Clips Kiri. Clips 3/10 to the good on his current lap on a 110.6. Up to the line he goes. It's a 6th place provisional start for Clips Kiri. Typhoon ended up in the pit lane. Got Ginger Tiger. Nitrogas puts himself into the top 5. Ginger Tiger can improve. He does improve, but not by enough to change his position. Gattuso at the moment looking very good for the pole position. Mikey coming up. Mikey's out! Mikey has demolished the front left corner coming out of the final chicane. I think he's taken too much curb through the left-hander and it's upset the balance of the car. And it's sent him directly into the pit wall as O'Stephen comes into the pits. That is the end of qualifying. Gattuso is the pole sitter. A 109.278, nearly 4/10 clear of anyone. Gattuso in the Aston Martin takes pole from Krikzik in the Ferrari. Kent and Ginger Tiger will be the next long, but the big news, Jack TM53 synopsis, he will start from 11th on the grid. He's got a lot of work to do in this race, the championship leader. His main rival of Kent, he sat in 3rd on the grid for now. Bit of a shame that for Mikey though. He'll start 15th. I think he's just taken so much curb through the last part of the lap. Just that left hander. If you take ever so slightly too much, it just upsets the car and just spins you straight into the wall. And that was it. The front left corner decided it was going to be no more. And the end of Mikey's session, and a bit of work to do for the McLaren mechanics. But here we go, the grid order. This is qualifying, but I'm going to say the grid order because obviously O'Stephen has that 5-place grid penalty. Gattuso will start on pole with Krikzik alongside. Row 3 consists of Kent and Ginger Tiger. Row 2. Row 3 will be Nitric Ash and Keza. Row 4 clips Kiri and Typhoon. Row 5 will be the leg Jack TM53 synopsis. Row 6 will be Maras and Sir Spud. Row 7 will be O'Stephen. Sorry, Massive Marshall and then O'Stephen. Mikey and It's the Cat. He pick up row 8. Giovi will be the sole man on the back row of the grid here at the Canadian Grand Prix. In his very after his accident in the first chicane. 35 laps awaits the drivers here in Montreal. Nice sunny skies. Well, I say sunny. There's a few clouds and one of them looks a little bit dark up there in the sky. They do run approximate weather in IRL, so the weather forecast you might see might not necessarily be the forecast you get. It can change. Obviously, the other thing to note for anyone who's new to Invictus Racing League is the point system. The point system is different to others in the fact the top 12 will score points here for this championship. It's slightly different just to get everyone, obviously everyone at the back, just try and sort of urge them to finish the races, and there's more to fight for in that respect. So point system goes as follows: 17 for a win, 14 for second place, 12 for third. You get 10 points for finishing fourth, 8 points for fifth, 7 points for sixth, 6 points for seventh, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 down to 12th place. It's important. You get a bonus point if you have the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And just a reminder of previous race results. Last week they had at Imola. They had a sprint qualification. They had a sprint race and a normal race. In the sprint race, it was Sam Flan who took the win on that one, with Jack just behind. Ginger Tiger third, and Nitric Ash fourth, with Typhoon in fifth. In the main race at Imola, it was Kent who won the race, followed by Typhoon, Sam Flan, Krikzik, and Ginger Tiger. Just having some technical issues at the moment. But looking at the chat, Lee saying top 5 for Spud. And that Jack will do some weird strategy. I have no doubt about that, about Jack. Obviously, me and Lee know Jack quite well. And obviously Spud saying he will try and get a top 5. Spud actually has done very well this season looking at previous race results. I think, well, let's have a look. Spud finished 11th in the first qualifying, but Spud finished 8th in the first race at Qatar. And then at Saudi Arabia, Spud actually went on to take a 4th place position. So Spud having a really good season at the moment. Obviously, not so lucky. Sort of last week at Imola, a 15th place in the main race and a 17th place in the sprint. But the pace is there for Spud, which is great to see. That's the main thing. But it looks like we're going to have a quick re-lobby due to the technical issues that Gattuso is facing. So unfortunately, it will mean that we're going to have a set weather rather than potential randomness. So bear with us whilst the lobby gets. We're going to re-rack the lobby, shall we say? Obviously, that will mean a manual grid setup. So you just have to bear with us for now. Jack saying he just couldn't string a lap together, which we could not necessarily see. I mean, it looks, the bits we could see, it was okay, but obviously, small mistakes, especially around here, will sort of exaggerate how bad the lap might be. It only takes you to have a slight run wide or something like that, and you lose a lot of time around it because of the amount of momentum you lose. So a critical thing in the race is to make sure that you don't lose that slipstream, don't lose anyone else. Yeah, let's see if I can get some inside information in terms of sort of whether we're looking at a one-stop, two-stop. I believe this is a one-stop race. I just can't remember what the tyres were the last time sort of we raced here at Canada. Again, was recommending hard, medium tyres. It's going to be a medium-hard race for tonight, but we have seen some weird strategies where people have gone from like hards to softs, softs to hards, or even stretch out the mediums and stuff. It depends because safety car chances around here extremely high because of the wall. We've already seen 2 accidents tonight, and that was in qualifying when there wasn't any overtaking. And not surprisingly, there's not enough people left in the session to run the session. So we are going to jump into the new lobby. So we're going to join the lobby, get ourselves set up for this race. And a little bit of mixed reaction to the restart in the good old Discord. Just waiting for, I think, a few more people to get in so that Clips can do. Keza sending me a backup invite, so thank you very much, Keza. $14 currently in the session, waiting for a few more to get in before we get underway for this 35 lap race. Interesting enough, they've gone random weather, so this might not necessarily be a dry race anymore. So all drivers now in. I think Clip's now just setting up the grid. I think the weather will change to a dry race. Because the generic rule is if it gets restarted, the weather, if it restarts after qualifying, the weather that was picked up in the forecast, there we go, clear sunny skies. It looks like we should be ready to rock and roll for this fourth round of Invictus Racing League Equal Performance. We're just waiting for Typhoon to select a car. There is an open Aston Martin, so it might be Lance Stroll's, which, to be honest, might be an improvement. And there we go, Typhoon in his car. Clips can get the grid set and we can get this race underway. So it looks like shouldn't be far away from starting this Canadian Grand Prix. I'm gonna say it's close. I think Jack has just said let's go, so that will be that's the command for everyone to ready up and get going here for this 35 lap race. It's quite interesting. With the Circus Villeneuve, it's had many different layouts. In 1978, when it first got opened, it used to have 19 corners, and the start-finish line was actually sort of where turn 12 is now, the sort of little flick right. That's where the start-finish line was. That's where the original start-finish line was. So you come out of the hairpin, go flick left, and on that flick right, that's where the old start-finish line was. But in terms of lap records here, race lap record, Valtteri Bottas done a 1 minute 13.078. That's back in the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix. And all sorts, obviously. Dario Franchitti holds the CART category, IndyCar. The 2002 in Molson Indy, Montreal, 1 minute 20.23. So what that says is the F1 cars, I mean the fastest sort of IndyCar to go around here from 2002 is about 7 seconds a lap slower than a 2019 Mercedes F1 car. Which is quite extraordinary, really. And the slowest lap time around Montreal is actually an F1600. It still managed to get around in a 1 minute 51.6. So it shows you just how quick this circuit is. An F1600 under 2 minutes around here. So yeah, it shows you the average speed of the Circus Villeneuve quite well, I think. So we're now on the starting line. See, as I say, it's a bit of a clearer day now. We've had a slight delay. The clouds have now gone. So, nice, easy choice of tyres for the drivers in this event now. Definitely no chance of rain for the 17 runners. So just waiting, obviously, a little bit of extra time given to the drivers in this scenario to do the strategy, because they also have to load the setups, make sure the setups are correct. And obviously at this point, if you think you need to make a change to your setup, you can't do anything about that. So no one can stop you from doing that. So everyone back in the clean slate, potentially with a few minor tweaks to their setups. Obviously, you kind of have a gentleman's agreement that you stick with the same setup, but if your car's not feeling right, then it's not feeling right. It's a shame we can't have pit lane starts ready in here, because that'd be good. But we're going to have the 5 red lights, and we are underway for the Canadian Grand Prix. Who's got the best getaway? It looks like it's going to be Gattuso on the inside as we head up towards turn number 1, but side by side with Krikzik now. Krikzik trying to keep it to the inside, a bit of contact. Krikzik is almost round. There's a bit of carnage in the background. We'll come back to that shortly. Looks like Kent's gone down the order. He's down to 8th. Jack has had a stellar, an absolutely stellar start. He's up into 7th place. We've got yellow flags. That's Giovi. He's got a 10-second penalty for a collision with Massive Marshall. They're at the back of the pack, but back of the front, Gattuso leads by 0.8 of a second. Further back, oh, we've got a bit of a wobbly Keza there as he's trying to get past Ginger Tiger for 4th place. Clips Kiri not far behind, looking to take advantage of that, but couldn't quite do so. Down towards the interesting line that from Clips Kiri. I think he had a bit of a wobble coming through that chicane. Down into the hairpin. Are we going to see any moves here? A little bit of a lock up there for someone. Kent on the back of Sir Spud. He's down into 9th place. He's had a horrendous start, really. But everyone, as far as in terms of moving and no retirements, we have no retirements. Maris and O'Stephen. Maris gets past Mikey down the inside of I think that's the leg. Can't quite get there though, Gattuso. Oh, leg's gone round, and that's a free place for Mikey. Which he'll take that very happily. Looks like Ken down the inside of Sir Spud. He's not going to be too happy. He is on the hard compound, which would explain a little bit of the sort of slowness in the start of this race. Sir Spud has Typhoon behind him, so Typhoon also getting caught up in that earlier sort of event. Oh, big slide there from Maris in the background. As we head towards the second of the chicanes here at Montreal. Let's check up some position changes, then we'll have a look at some tyres. Jack is up 3 places from 10th to 7th. I think he's the biggest mover, along with Sir Spud, who's gone up 3 places up to 9th. Biggest mover though is the leg, down 8 places. Kent down 5 at the moment, but we know he is on the hard tyres, and that is your tyres, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very, very big split, heavily in favour of the hard tyre to start this race off. Mikey is in a good position here tyre-wise for this part of the race. I think that was Sir Spud maybe having a little look at something, but nothing coming of it. Mikey down the inside of O'Stephen though. O'Stephen won't fight that too hard. He knows there's a difference of compound, but he might fight this one a bit harder as the Cat. Looking to go at the inside of turn 1, and also here comes Giovi down the inside. 3 abreast into the first corner, sandwich for the Cat. And O'Stephen was full aggrieved by that, but it was 3 wide, and there wasn't really much that Cat could do. He was the meat in that sandwich. Giovi makes up 3 places. Whether there's going to be a little bit of a talk afterwards about that move. Because let's face it, he didn't exactly slow the car down to allow 3 cars through that corner, but then you don't normally go 3 wide through the first corner here at Montreal. And now Sir Spud, Stephen, looking to get back past the Cat. Sauber on Alpine, but at the front we got nearly side by side, I think, because Nitrogas right on the back of Krikzik. Gattuso is gone by 3 seconds. He's off the road, up off the road. But the 2 Mercedes looking to sort of gang up here on Krikzik. Looking behind from the Ferrari down towards the final chicane. Should be an easy move. No, it's not quite, although he keeps the nose down there. Surprised Nitro didn't really back out of that one. He's going to have another bite of the cherry coming down towards turn number 1 though. And move easily made from the Mercedes. Just look to tighten up that Ferrari going through the chicane. Keza. Clips has gone a bit wide through turn 2, and Keza gets through up into the top 5. Jack has Kent behind him by half a second. This is tight between the 2 championship leaders. Jack, the current leader, followed by Kent. Through that second chicane into the first of the DRS zones on this lap. And keep an eye on the gap, see if we can see any of the battles. Typhoon is close to Sir Spud. Not quite close enough to make a move, but it wasn't a good line that from Spud through that chicane, but Typhoon not really there to capitalise on it. Though he may well look you would maybe say you look for the DRS, but the problem is he's a massive DRS train at the moment, which is headed up currently by Nitrogash. Crixik will be looking for that second place back as we head up towards the final chicane. A little bit of a cut, bit of a slide from Crixik. That's going to end that challenge. A bit too much curb, a bit like what Mikey done in qualifying. Klipskiri will get up into 5th place past Keza. Slight gap now appearing between the top 4 and the rest of the field. Obviously that split entire strategy sort of helping that. Mikey in a bit of no man's land at the moment in 12th. He's going to have Giovi on him pretty soon. Giovi not a slow driver, that's for sure, as we have this battle for 5th. Klipskiri heading this little train. I think Jack kind of now having to sit and be patient with this, because it's going to be quite hard for him to overtake. Oh, Clips gets a really bad run coming out of the third chicane, sorry. So you head into Lepingal. Oh, and Kent sends one to the inside, hits his own teammate off wide. Kent a late lunge to the inside of the hairpin. It's not paid off, and it's actually costing his teammate a chance of getting back up into 5th place. Meanwhile, Crixik to the front, bit of side by side. Oh, and that is Nitrocash all over the inside. He was not going to be happy about that. I think he's had to relinquish that place to Crixik. Crixik will say he had the inside line, and Nitro should have backed out, but that could be an interesting one for after the race. So all positions change. Crixik up into 2nd, Ginger Tiger now 3rd, and Nitrogash is in 4th. And it's actually allowed Klipskiri to get back into DRS range. We now have a huge DRS train once again. And off camera, Giovi has overtaken Mikey. Quite possibly not too much of a surprise. Giovi definitely the quicker driver in that battle. But Mikey will be looking to maybe, I would say Mikey would have wanted to use Giovi as a bit of a tow. Try and get him back up here into this fight, but at the moment this long DRS train is going to cause Mikey issue in terms of getting back up through the field here. Meanwhile, up at the front, Ginger Tiger to 2nd place. We have a yellow flag, that's for the Alpine of the leg. Still going, and it looks like Jack under Keza. Keza's had a moment through the chicane. I did think there was a bit of a weird line that from Jack and Kent. Sir Spud down the inside, slides it across the front of Keza. Beautiful move from the kick Sauber. Typhoon up into 10th. He's now looking to take away a position from Keza. Can't quite do it. Keza sweeps across the front. Very nice driving to keep 9th place for now. But is there any damage on Keza's car? Doesn't look like there's anything visually. But that has handed Jack 6th place. But the biggest problem now is he's outside of DRS range of Klipskiri. He's going to have to use probably a little bit of ERS here. Oh, that's a big moment for Crixik, I think. Crixik down into 5th place. That's going to help Jack out coming onto the back straight. But Crixik, not quite sure what happened there, but he got all sideways through that 3rd chicane. And now Ginger Tiger's up to 2nd. Gattuso is 7.2 to the good. He is absolutely flying at the moment as Gattuso in the Aston Martin. It's going to do his championship chances, and Aston Martin's chances are very good sort of thing. But Jack 1.7 away from Crixik. Obviously he wasn't close enough on the detection to pick up DRS, and he's under a lot of pressure from Kent now. Into the first couple of corners. Typhoon looking to go past, but can't quite do it, can he? He has. He's ahead of Maras, but he can't get the kick Sauber. Yellow flag. That's Gattuso. Gattuso's gone round. The leader has spun it coming out of the first chicane. The 2nd chicane even, sorry. It's 6 and 7. Oh, that's a little bit dodgy, pulling across into the path of the Mercedes, but he gets away with it. Giovi gets past Maras. But Gattuso, who is almost 8 seconds in front. Oh, and he's now hit the back end of Ginger Tiger. Ginger Tiger's round. Gattuso, that is I'm afraid to say, a absolute slam dunk Penalty, I'm afraid, on that one, chap. Too late on the brakes, into the back of the Mercedes of Ginger Tiger. Ginger Tiger down to 7th. Hopefully he's not got any damage from that. Gattuso, I'd be surprised if he's got away scot-free on that one, but no visual damage, so it can't be that bad. Ginger Tiger into the pits on lap number 9. That's a very early pit stop, I think. So maybe swapping to a 2-stopper. I do also wonder if he got collected and maybe had wing damage as well. But this race keeps on giving. Oh, and that side-by-side clips and Krikzik looking around the outside of where I think it was Stroll that got put into the wall in that one. Through the second chicane. Has a big slide coming out of the second chicane as Krikzik is going to allow Klipskiri a chance. Kent has got ahead of Jack at the moment. Oh, and a little bit wide. That's going to be a track limits for sure for Krikzik. And Gattuso on the tail of... sorry, Gattuso leading the Mercedes of Nitrogash at the moment through the hairpin. Keza at the moment, the break in the chain is... Well, Krikzik sort of starts a secondary chain, even though the top two, it's only 2, so not much of a chain, but... oh, that's someone in the pits. That's Gattuso in the pits. I think he's got front wing damage. He's going to have to get that sorted. So Nitrogash now takes the lead of this race from Krikzik. Klipskiri is in 3rd. Kent is in 4th. Jack is up into 5th place from 10th on the grid. Been a great start from the championship leader. Keza's had a moment through the first couple of corners. He's down to 10th. So, just mistakes galore. It just looks like with the hard tyres, the car is just... Oh, that's Giovi off round, and that looked like a bit of contact by someone, possibly Maras. Mikey gets through. So he's up into 10th place now. But again, more contact through a chicane. And it looks like Kent down the inside of Klipskiri gets the job done. We only caught the second half of that when Kent was already alongside. Now he's used a lot of battery by looks for Kent. But you never quite tell as Krikzik all over the back of the Mercedes. And you have to start feeling actually now that the hards are starting to come into their own in terms of paceways. Those mediums probably aren't much better than the hards for grip at the moment. As we head on to lap 11 of 35. Up through into the first chicane. Krikzik looking to pull away here. This is a good chance for Krikzik to maybe try and build a gap. Into the third chicane we go. Krikzik only half a second, so he's not pulled away enough here, and it's allowed those behind to this top 5. It's really good. Sir Spud up into 6th place at the moment. He's running well, runs a little bit wider than he probably would want to, close to the wall for the Sauber driver. But he's having a good run at the moment, is Sir Spud, keeping himself out of trouble, which is the main thing around here. And Typhoon will go past, and Spud won't fight that too much, although he does have a bit of a cut. I think Typhoon didn't quite get the left part of the chicane, but we got side by side for the lead. Nitrogash and Krikzik. And here comes Ken looking to take advantage. He's up into 2nd now. Yellow flags. We've got a spinner. It's Typhoon. Typhoon is round at turn 2. We've also had moves by Keza on Maris as Typhoon continues to lose positions, waiting for the opportunity to get back on track safely. Good sportsmanship from him, also in the rules and regulations. Down to the hairpin for the 12th time. Kent in 2nd. He's looking racy as Kent, as Jack has made a lovely move on Klipskiri by the looks of that, down into the hairpin. Again, didn't see the start of it, saw the finish of it though. And the McLaren driver up into 4th. Kent wasting no time. Into the lead the Red Bull driver goes, and now he's going to look to have this tyre advantage that he should have on the hard tyres pay off, as here comes Krikzik. He's looking to the inside into turn number 1. A little bit of tapping, but it's all good, all hard fair racing here, and it's going to be Nitrogash. Now, he was on the inside, but he lost a bit of traction being on that inside, being on that tighter line, and Krikzik opens the steering, is allowed to get the throttle on earlier. And Krikzik up into 2nd, and now Jack is now looking for a way through, because he knows he can't let... Oh! Nitrogash almost goes round, a good save from him. Krikzik just had a moment through the chicane, and Nitro went for a gap that realistically was never going to be there. But he didn't really have, with the pace deficits between the two cars, he didn't really have much place to go. But that gap was never going to be open, and was always going to shut very quickly with the moment that Krikzik was having. So it puts Jack up into 3rd place, into the podium positions from 10th on the grid. Krikzik in 2nd, just about in DRS range of our leader, that is Kent. Nitrogash into the pits he comes. I don't know whether he's got any wing damage from that. There's potential, as Maris is looking for a move on Spud. Can't quite find the opening, however, but Jack is all over the back of the Ferrari of Krikzik. We go on board with the number 53. Gets really close to the back, and you can see the lack of traction that Kritzik's got. He's trying to make this medium tyre last. And you have to feel it's only a matter of time. Jack with the DRS on this back straight. He's got to be careful that he doesn't allow Clips an opportunity into this hairpin. But Clips is sort of smart about this. He'll sort of follow Jack on this particular lap if Jack can get past Krikzik and have an easy overtake for himself. DRS open. ERS on. And Jack makes no mistake on that one. Krikzik continues for another one. Yellow flag, that's for the leg. Meanwhile, Maris has managed to finally get past Gattuso on those fresh hard tyres. He's now past Giovi. He's up into 8th place, but I think a very big sort of looming penalty on his head right now after the contact with Ginger Tiger. Kent's got 7/10 to Jack. And the gap's just starting to open up around at the moment. And that phase of the race where Mikey has pitted onto the set of hard tyres, so he's now running technically slightly out of order. The question is for Ginger, can Ginger make this hard tyre last as long as he needs to the end of this race? And Jack now runs a little bit deep into the hairpin. Doesn't really... He did get it squared up a little bit better there than Ken. You can see the time difference. Here comes Jack. This is for the race lead. Oh, gets right under the rear wing of Kent. He's not going to have the opportunity though because of that. Krikzik does finally come into the pits here on lap 15. Jack unable to get past Kent at this stage of the race, but it won't be long, I don't think. I do wonder if a little bit these two, if they work together here, build a gap to Clips Kiri, there's a chance that this could benefit them later on in the race. We have a yellow flag. That is for the Ferrari of Giovi. He's gone round at turn 2. Oh, that's a tight squeeze to the Mercedes of Nitrogash. Gattuso, quarter of a second behind Sir Spud. It's going to be closing, and there goes Gattuso to the inside. Move complete. Back at the front, right on board with the Red Bull. Jack using a bit of DRS, here we go. This should be a pretty easy move. There goes the McLaren. And Kent dives back in. Oh, not a great line though from Jack. He's lucky he's going to have DRS to be able to defend this down into turn 1. A slightly poor line. I think maybe just not quite sure exactly where Kent's car was. Maybe a little bit cautious on the turn-in to make sure there's no contact made. But the move is done by Jack for now. The question is, can he get out of that elusive 1 second? Keza comes into the pits. Possibly, that's a very early pits for Keza, I must admit. I probably want to go to like lap 20 area on these hard tyres if it was myself. But maybe he's done some testing and the low fuel allows the mediums to go almost half a race. Typhoon is quite close to Keza. But obviously once Keza's tyres are up to temperature, it should be a pretty simple job for Keza to start pulling that gap back. And this battle for the lead will rage on. Through the final chicane, both of them go a little bit of a wobble from Kent, and that might stop him. That will stop him from having a run into turn 1. So, a successful defence by Jack on this first attempt as the leader of this race. Remember, Jack started in 10th place. Gattuso is up into 4th place now. And he's really not far behind. Crixix sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:11.6. So he is on the move. Let's just have a look at gap to leader. And it is only 9 seconds from Jack to Gattuso. There was a pit stop around here, maybe 18 seconds, roughly speaking. So Jack and Kent may be on course to come out behind the likes of Nitrogas here. It's not a big pit lane loss because of the way the pit lane comes out. You effectively cut turn 1. So there's not a massive loss here at Montreal for a pit stop. Kent to the inside. Jack won't fight that one. Sensibly just lets Keza go. These two need to work together here to try and give themselves the best opportunity of catching those that have already pitted onto the hard compound. Ginger Tiger, I think that's down the back straight. Yes, it is, as Sir Spud comes into the pits for his pit stop. He's managed to make those tyres go 18 laps. Fastest lap there. And there is your stoppers at the moment. We've only had 6-7 pit stops here. It's 8 pit stops now as the Cat has one. 8 stoppers so far in this Grand Prix. And the only penalty at the moment is Giovi's. Jack up 8 positions, as is Giovi. But we know Giovi still has to pit yet. Maris up 6 places right now, but this is all subject to change when the pit stops happen. Jack, in the meantime, sticking behind Kent. Pulled 1.6 on Clips, but they can't seem to pull much more on him at the moment. Clips just sort of stick with him. As Cryptic gets past Ginger Tiger. Remember, Ginger Tiger, 7 lap older tyres. Is that the result of that tyre age difference? Nitrocash behind Ginger. You have to feel Ginger may have to just let his teammate go here to give them the best possible opportunity for the maximum points they can score. But for now, they remain as situ. Lap 20 arrives. This is where I'm starting to expect the likes of Kent and Jack to pit. For green flag pit stops. See that they're going to try and keep going and wait it out for a safety car. And Kent, as he comes into the pit lane, 10-second penalty, speeding in the pits. Absolute disaster for the Red Bull driver. That's a huge penalty. Obviously the penalties have changed in this game. They used to be 5, now it's 10. Cushion is as Nitro gets past Ginger, to be expected. There is Keza. Keza just behind Kent, so that is the gap there. Jack will be wanting to feed out just behind Kent and ahead of Keza. Maris gets overtaken by Krixik. Through the third chicane of the circuit for Maris. Look, TDSG over. He's still got to pit, but he's got Kent behind him, so expect Kent to look to make a move. And yes, there he goes down the inside, diving it down the inside. Beautifully done by Kent. Very clean. It allows an easy move here from Keza as well. Jack is in the pits. Katusa goes by, but he's on 11 lap old hard tyres. And this is where it's going to get interesting. Where's Jack going to come out? Jack's going to be behind Clips Kiri. So the undercut has worked here for Clips Kiri. However, we know the tyre wear will be on Jack's side, even by a lap. There's a lot of time there that he's lost, and part of that will be down to the fact that when Kent and Clips Kiri came out of the pit, they were in a train of cars. They would have had DRS whereas Jack would not have had any DRS assistance on his in-lap. You've got a little bit of... Okay, that's a new one. That is a new one. I'm gonna have to. That is very, very bizarre. I'll try and get back in. Very bizarre how it says the network cable has been unplugged, yet we're still live on the air. It's a shame because we were really starting to get some battles going right then. Here we go, we're back in lap 24, Gattuso. Still in the lead of this race. Krixik is in second, Nitro third, Ginger fourth, Kent fifth, Clip sixth, Keza 7th, Jack is in 8th, and 1.5 down on Keza now, so he has gained a bit of time since our, camera outage. So Jack on the back of Keza now. Keza has slowed up. He's lost 1.9 to Clips. This is the problem. When you lose the DRS, it's a huge disadvantage right now around this circuit. as Kent got clips all over him. Jack has got past Keza, as we probably expected with the DRS. For Jack, he's now 2.5 seconds behind Clips Kiri. You've got a yellow flag. That's going to be Mikey. Mikey is around. Down to 15th. He's not getting on well with these harder compound tyres. Meanwhile, Giovi will get back past. It's the Cat. Who's Stephen yet to pit. And I can only assume that his game plan is looking for safety car territory, as Gattuso is in the pit onto a set of medium compound tyres. Looking to go fast at the end is the Aston Martin driver. In the front, we've got Kriksik with a 2.5 second gap to Nitrogash. Ginger Tiger 7/10 behind that. The two Mercedes working together. Giovi gets past Stephen under DRS. You have to say, and there it is, the Cat looking to almost out-traction the Sauber, and he does so. That's the difference. 25 lap old hard tyres for O'Stephen compared to 7 lap old mediums. That's the difference in traction. Massive Marshall has conceded the fact that he does have to pit 24 laps on those hard tyres. Is he going to look to go for the soft compound at the end? Yes, he does. The problem with that, he is so far behind everyone. I think he's going to be a lap down, actually. Nearest close to it is Kent coming under pressure from Clips, and Jack just consistently losing time at the moment because he's not in that DRS zone of Kent and Clips. Typhoon gets past O'Stephen, and O'Stephen continues on still. He really is hoping for this safety car right now. I don't reckon there's any damage on Mikey because he's not catching up with O'Stephen, although O'Stephen may well have had a bit of help with the DRS. Down the back straight we go for the 27th time. Typhoon is quite close to it. It's the Cat. Well, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Jack, Keza, Gattuso. Gattuso, this is how fast Gattuso is tonight. He's made 2 pit stops, he's had an air, he's even had a spin. But he's going to be driving incredibly angrily because he's going to have at least a 5-second penalty hanging over his head. He probably knows he's going to be getting that for that collision with Ginger. All over the back of Jack. Yellow flags flirting around in sector 1, but nothing really doing. And Jack doesn't really fight Gattuso. This is a really clever thing here from Jack. If he can just hang on to the coattails of the Aston Martin, the pace that Gattuso has, every single chance that... It's a shame we don't have a last lap as a detail function, because say if Jack can hang on to the coattails of Gattuso here through the DRS zones, there's a good chance Gattuso might drag Jack back up towards this top 5 area. And the fight, although it looks like Kent and Clips, they've massively caught up with Nitro and Ginger to the point that Kent is hassling Ginger Tiger into the final chicane. Just look at that time loss Gattuso gets because he's not in that slipstream, but because everyone's having a bit of a fight and a bit of a scrap into that final chicane, he does gain that time back. Typhoon still on the back of It's the Cat, but this is a more important fight right now. This is the battle for second place. Nitro, Ginger, Kent and Clips. Typhoon does get past, but it's on the back straight with DRS, so it's a move, but it's not an exciting one. Through the DRS zone into the third chicane we go. Kent almost pushing Ginger Tiger here. Remember, Ginger Tiger on 20 lap old hard tyres. Kent to the outside. Can he make it stick? Oh, there's a little bit of contact there between Ginger and Kent, but it looks like Kent's going to have the traction on the exit. And here comes Ginger, though. He's not giving this one up without a fight, and he does go past with a bit of slithering help from his teammate. We have a yellow flag. That is Mikey has gone round in the second corner again. Really struggling on those hard compound tyres, and that may allow O'Stephen the chance to get in and out of the pits in front of him. Clips Kiri looks to the inside, can't quite do it. Kent looking all over for a gap here against Ginger Tiger. Keza in the pits, onto the soft compound. Ken, has he got an overlap? No, he hasn't, not quite enough. Just send it down the inside, contact between the two. But positions remain, that's the main thing there. DRS open for Kent and Clips. I think Ginger Tiger has yes, and the Mercs have to play a smart game here. Nitro has to make sure Ginger stays within DRS to sort of squash that threat of Kent with DRS getting past Ginger Tiger. And the gap back to Jack now, 4 seconds. Good strategy here between the two Mercs. Gattuso is on his way though. Lap 31. We are in the closing stages of this race. Ginger Tiger. This is the view that he has in his rear view mirrors. A Red Bull driver who is looking for half a gap to exploit. Oh, a little bit of a lag spike in the old lobby there. Oh, and Gattuso, look at that for a move to the inside. Does push the Haas wide. So I don't think Clips Kiri's going to be too happy with that move. Gattuso not really leaving him room on the exit. Kent pushing in, and this time Ginger Tiger's not going to have DRS at the back straight. Gattuso though looking to the inside, and he's almost 3 abreast. It is 3 abreast. Somehow they've come out with that unscathed, apart from Gattuso, who's in the wall, spins around, and that great recovery drive from Gattuso is all down the pan. Ginger Tiger has been overtaken by Clips Kiri into the chicane. That all sort of started because Gattuso had a run down the inside of Kent, who also looked to outbrake Ginger Tiger. Probably moved without quite noticing the fact that Gattuso was there. It all got bunched up, and I think Gattuso maybe just on that really tight line just lit the rears up. And that was curtains. Keza, amazingly, the first time penalty for track limits. Drivers have been very, very good today in the limits department. And back to the race at hand, Kent. It's 5 tenths away from Nitrogash. We have Massive Marshall, who is being lapped at this point of the race. O'Stephen still has yet to, I take it O'Stephen does know he has to pit here at some point. He's got plenty gap behind him. For 14th place. And at this stage of the Grand Prix there will be no safety car. We are going to go safety carless. Kent all over the back of Nitro though. Oh, collision between the two. Massive Marshall, you're not really supposed to do that, but then the speed differential may excuse him. But there was definitely a collision between Nitro and Kent. Clips Kiri giving a wide berth of Massive Marshall there. I do wonder what damage has that sustained for Kent, because that won't be helpful through the corners. Again, I can't see any visual damage, but there must be a little bit of damage on that from him, because that was a pretty hefty hit. A leg, making sure he sticks to one side of the track. Not really getting out of the way though. So across the start-finish line, we start the penultimate lap of this race. And right now, Kent is in a bit of trouble. That puts him at 14 seconds. To put him just in front of Gattuso right now. As Giovi gets past Maris with a bit of DRS assistance, but back up here for second. And in reality, Nitro can possibly not have to battle Kent here. It's very rare that pit lane penalties, speeding of pit lane penalties, get overturned. That Clips Kiri, he's decided he wants to have a look at this Red Bull. Can't find the gap to slot his car into though. Ginger Tiger, phenomenal effort. 25 laps he's done on those hard tyres so far. O'Steven has pitted onto the soft tyre. He may well end up a lap down here as Krixik is on his way through towards turn 1. And Clips Kiri past Nitrogash as Kent got through earlier on into the chicane. Pretty basic moves with DRS, but again, the only one that really matters there is Clips Kiri, because Clips, that is for position. Oh, and a big slide from Clips. This is a chance for Nitrogash to get this place back here. He isn't going to find the traction to do so though. Kent already 1.3 up the road, and Clips Kiri is under severe pressure here as we head into the DRS zone for the final time. Krixik has gone 3.2 up the road. Nitro already passed Clips. Clips looking for good traction on the exit, but he's not going to have DRS because the detection point is before the end of the second sector, so the Red Bull will have it. But coming through the final chicane now, Krixik, he's had a bit of a quiet second part of this race, but he comes home to win the Canadian Grand Prix in the Ferrari. It's Kent provisionally second, but it's actually going to be Nitrogash in second. Clips Kiri comes home in third. Ginger Tiger is in fourth. Kent drops again. Jack is in fifth place. Kent will finish in sixth place, 8/10 to the good of Gattuso. Giovi will come home for 8th place. A tough race for him, but he did come from the back of the pack. Maris is in 9th, Keza in 10th. And that result will stand. We've got a yellow flag in the back straight for some bizarre reason. Typhoon will finish 11th. We've got Mikey there. A tough race for the McLaren driver. He's in 17th and last on the paper. Sir Spud comes home for 12th. He'll get the final points paying position of the night. It's the Cat and O'Steven. It's the Cat coming home for 13th. O'Steven will be coming home for 14th. Spud seems to think the track limits weren't on, but they must have been because Keza picked up a penalty for track limits. He did pick up 3 seconds. I wonder if they were maybe not on harsh, but maybe on standard, potentially. there, that's your podium. Ferrari, Mercedes and Haas all on the podium. Part of the key factor though is Jack finishing ahead of Kent for the standings. That's a fantastic thing for the McLaren driver. Just extends his gap a little bit. But we will have the provisional results. Obviously everything provisional until the stewards have had a look at any tickets, investigations that are required in. Interesting, we didn't get a final. We didn't get the race results on that one, but very strange. But yeah, Krixik does take the win. Which is good. Good show really by everyone. Really good show. The people, some people had nice races, some people had terrible races. The way everything goes. But that is the Canadian Grand Prix from Equal Performance. Next week, let me just bring up the calendar here. Next week we head to the infamous Spa-Francorchamps for round number 5. It's going to be, that's always a really good race for Spa. It's obviously only going to be like 22 laps, but always great, interesting results, interesting strategies. And the infamous Eau Rouge, almost pretty well flat, should be flat in these cars. Maybe not on full fuel though. Someone might want to test that out for me. But for myself, I've been JPH. Hopefully you'll join us next week for the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps. But tonight you've been watching the Invictus Racing League Equal Performance round number 4 from Canada. From myself and all the team here. Thank you for watching. Join us next week for more live Equal Performance racing. Goodbye.